I remember before I even got my Moldavite, I keep getting like dreams and visions of some kind of goddess retreat or academy, right? I just remember there's gonna be this huge retreat where women from all over the world will come to heal. And there's gonna be 7 sisters. There's gonna be 7 of us, each representing a chakra. And in this academy, there's gonna be 50 pendants that each round of goddesses coming in, there's gonna be 50 at a time wearing these blessed and activated Moldavites during this retreat. But literally that was all I knew. And I knew we were supposed to work with crystals in some sort, but literally that was consistent in my dreams and my visions. So one day I was like, okay, well, maybe I should start working with crystals. Maybe that's my calling. And then I remember going to a crystal shop. And before this, right, I had 2 friends that mentioned Moldavite, 2 different friends mentioned in the same week. So I was like, okay, what can a stone possibly do? So I went into the crystal shop, got my first piece of Moldavite. It was like 4 grams. But somehow, I find myself going back to the crystal shop to look for more Moldavites. And it was like October 2018. I came across one. It was 5.2 grams. And the moment that I looked at it, I was like, this is my stone. This is the one. So little did I know what would unfold for me in the days ahead. So I made that 5.2 gram pen into a pendant. I was so proud of it. It's like, I'm gonna keep it on my body at all times. Fast forward a year later, 7 months in Vietnam, everything that's happened. I have my own business called The Light Goddesses. I don't even recognize who I am anymore. So today's episode, I want to share with you my entire 1-year journey with Moldavite, and hopefully it give you some guidance on what's going to happen with your journey as you start working Moldavite, as you find your stone, and as you start adapting to its energy. So let's cut the chase. Timmy Doe, let's go.
Audio Jungle.
This past week, I was looking at my old videos, my very first video. I recorded it when I was I went to Dallas to get away from everything that was happening, all these energies that starting to surface, family, relationship, career. I really had to take a break and leave, right? It was overwhelming. So Dallas was a moment of clarity for me. And I remember that's when I first started my very first YouTube channel. And I watched the other day and I was like, wow, my old self, you can see it in my face, how scared I was and how awkward and tense I was. And future me right now is just looking at my old self, is hey, it's okay, you're gonna make it, right? Just keep going, I'm rooting for you. So I just remember looking at my old videos and just telling my old self, keep going. And I can see it in my energy, in my field, that I was so uncertain of what's gonna unfold. So here I am. I was like, oh, you go, Tammy. You're gonna make it. Everything's gonna be okay. So it kind of makes me wonder that probably a year later, my new self, a year from now, is gonna look back at this video. I was like, oh my God, Tammy, you're finally getting it. Listen to your intuition, follow the guidance, right? Next year, when I do my 2-year review, I'm probably looking back at this video and I knew it, just follow my intuition, follow the guidance, and it'll lead you exactly to where I need to go. So that was a little about that. I remember my very first YouTube video was November 2018. And as I was starting working with Moldavite, this map came up, right? The hero's journey. Before, I had no idea what the hero's journey was. And so I tried to dissect what the hero journey meant. I read through it, but I was like, okay, this seems like a movie. If you ever seen Star Wars, Harry Potter, all these movies, they have a storyline. And the storyline follows this hero's journey map. So I keep getting called to go this hero's journey, and I was looking at the call to adventure, and then I didn't accept the call. Then all of a sudden I chose to accept the call by getting the MOLDAVITE, which I had no idea what it meant before, and then meeting a mentor. So for me, I don't think I met a mentor. I had no one to guide me through this entire process. I first accepted a call by getting the MOLDAVITE, and I thought I was gonna go to Vietnam for 2 weeks to get 50 pendants blessed, 50 stones activated and blessed in Vietnam, and that's all I knew, right? 2 weeks in Vietnam. Well, the universe works in mysterious ways. The universe like, nope, 2 weeks? Yeah, right, 7 months in Asia. I don't know how long your journey is gonna last, but for me, I felt so lost when I first started this journey with no guidance. Can you imagine like getting a MOLDAVITE and all these synchronicities are starting to unfold, right? I have quite a few of you reach out to me and say, hey, I'm already experiencing like weird synchronicities before the stone even gets there. Is that supposed to happen? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But for me, days leading up to my first MOLDAVITE, I start getting these dreams and visions of what's about to unfold. And I know each level is like a step. Every step I take is gonna start revealing more on what's going to unfold. So here I am in Vietnam, like walking around with my bags of like, I remember having like 60 something MOLDAVITEs. And I had some money, like my entire savings left to go get these pendants activated at Father's tomb and then go make it into some kind of pendant. And I'll show you my very first one, right? So this is my very first MOLDAVITE. I went to Vietnam, and I went to, my cousin took me all over Vietnam to find a supplier to custom made these pendants. All I know is it's supposed to be like some kind of spiral, and put the MOLDAVITE in there, and I glued a Herkimer diamond in there. And this is made of white gold. And so I remember, right, after I got all these stones blessed, I took it to this jewelry maker, and I only had a week left in Vietnam. So I told him, like, hey, can you make 50 pendants into this shape, I suppose, right? This is a sample he made for me. It actually broke midway through, and this is made of white gold. But there's a whole story behind it. So I super glued it a bunch. This stone is dormant now, but that was my very first stone. So here's my 5.2 gram MOLDAVITE made with white gold. So he made it into this for me, and I wore it as my new pendant. So this was a sample. So I told him, I was like, okay, I got 5,000. Can you make 50 of these, of the 50 MOLDAVITEs I have? I only have enough to make 50 into pendants. And then can you make it done within a week? I'm leaving back to the US in a week. And so he's like, all right, let's do it. First, you need to put down a deposit. So I was like, okay, here's my credit card. And he's like, wait, we actually don't take credit cards. So would you mind going to the bank and getting cash out? In my head, I was like, what? You're this huge jewelry maker and you don't take credit cards? All right. So I asked my cousin to go down the street. This was like 4 o'clock in the evening. The bank was about to close in an hour. So we walked down there, we went to the bank, and I gave the bank my card. It's like, hey, can I take out some money? And then the teller was like, okay, show me your ID. So I showed them my copy of my passport. It's like, well, for this amount of money, you're gonna need an actual passport. So that was stop number 2. In my head, I was like, no, I had my passport back in the countryside with my grandmother. So if I were to travel back there, it's gonna be a 3-hour bus ride back and then 3 hours back to the city. So like, shoot. So I asked my cousin, hey, do you have $5 grand I could borrow? Like, I have the money, I'll pay you back. So he was like, I'm sorry, like I don't have that kind of money. So that was stop number 3. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to make the pendants today. So I went back to the jeweler and I told him, like, hey, just wait. I'll go back to the countryside, I'll get it, and then I'll come back in a day or 2. So we rushed back to the countryside. I got my passport, then all of a sudden I noticed like my mom was really sick, like she was swelling up, and something about her wasn't normal. So I'm like, Mom, are you okay? And it was actually very concerning to me, because here I am gonna leave within a couple of days, and my parents are gonna stay for like the full month. And in my, like, to me, I can't leave them if something happens and I'm back in the US. So I made this choice, well, I guess I'm gonna stay to see if like everything's okay here, and then I'll just rebook my ticket. So that was the moment I canceled my flight, and I called the jewelers and to tell them like, hey, I have a couple more, I'm gonna stay for an extended period of time, so let's hold off on this design and maybe we'll have more time to work on it. A month went by, and I remember I was wearing this pendant, and my aunt was taking me down in the countryside, and then all of a sudden I looked down and half of the pendant broke off. All right, half of it broke off and the stone fell out. And I panicked, said, where is my MOLDAVITE? So fortunately, it's stuck in my fanny pack. Fanny packs are like a cool thing now, right? It was stuck in my fanny pack with the bottom piece. It's like, oh, good thing. One is good thing I didn't lose my stone. Two, good thing I didn't make 50 pendants like this so that it'll only break, right? The design wasn't sturdy enough. And good thing I was stopped 3 times before moving forward with all the money I had left to create these pendants. And so that was the very start of my adventure. And throughout the journey, I keep getting more downloads. Bring your stone to Fenispan. Fenispan is one of the highest mountains in Indochina. So I asked my cousins, like, hey, do you want to go on an adventure and like trek 2 days up this peak of this mountain? I don't know, I feel like I need to go. Let's go on an adventure since I'm gonna be here a little bit longer. So good thing, a couple of us, we packed our bags. Literally, I packed for 2 weeks in Vietnam. I did not pack any trekking clothes, any climbing clothes. So somehow it managed to work out. And there we are, we took a 2-day trek up this mountain with the stones. And if you've never hiked in a foreign country before, chance of you dying is very possible. We didn't even sign a consent form, but there were moments where I climbed up and was like, all right, if anybody falls off, it's gonna be fall to our death. Like, not even kidding you. And I just remember, like, as we started ascending up higher in this mountain, like mentally I was like drained. It was getting really cold and it was like starting to rain and my whole body was aching. But I knew, it was like, okay, we're already halfway in, we gotta make this work. And lo and behold, we made it to the very first peak, Fenispan Mountain. And then after that, I keep getting more downloads. Take these stones to this temple in Thailand. So here I am. After, first one was Father's Tomb, second one was Fenispan Mountain, third one was some kind of temple in Thailand. So coincidentally, my aunt wanted to take a trip to Thailand for a week. So I went with her, we went to Thailand. I visited this temple, which is like a very holy and sacred temple. It's called, here, I'm gonna put the name in the picture. But this is where the Buddhist monk that is training the upcoming king, that's where the monk is residing. And so through that, I had one of the disciples bless one of his lotus pendants for me. And now I put it in the grid that I charge all the incoming MOLDAVITEs with, along with the blessed stones. And so I took the MOLDAVITEs there. The next one was Black Virgin Mountain in Vietnam. And in Vietnamese, it's called Núi Bà Đen. So another 2-day trek. This one, I actually like fell so many times because it was raining and pouring. I actually ripped my pants, like from falling so many times. And man, we were so unprepared for this trek. We thought it was gonna be like a short, easy climb, but it was one of the hardest climbs I've done. And I remember falling and slipping so many times. I had to grab hold of branches to like catch a grip. So long story short, we made it out alive. No one was injured, but boy, that was a freaking journey. And as I started like following the intuition, just to tell you, like synchronicities were happening all over the place. Synchronicity in number, synchronicities animals, like seeing the deer everywhere when I asked for guidance, and taken to all these holy and blessed sites in the mountains. I'm pretty sure one of these mountains activated the stones, right? One of these peaks, like Father's tomb or one of these temples, is actually a huge vortex that actually activated the 50 stones that I had. I had about 65 when I first started this journey. And somehow along the way, when I was like running low on money, because literally I was not prepared for 7 months in Vietnam. And so I was running low on money, and I remember sitting in my Airbnb one day, and I just asked for guidance, like, okay, I don't feel like I found what I need to find in Vietnam yet, so can you just please give me some guidance on what I should do next? The thought that came through is like, make a video and give away 3 of your blessed Moldavites. And in my head, like, I can't afford to do that, right? This is my entire savings left in these stones. And I know I'm supposed to reserve 50 for the pendants, but the rest I was planning to sell when I go back. But something just told me, it's like, make a YouTube video and give away 3. And so that's what I did. So if you haven't seen this video, Moldavite, the stone that changed my life, there's an open and activated vortex there. I know a lot of you came to my channel because of that video. So if you haven't seen it, there's an open and activated vortex there. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you go back and watch it. Because of that video, I gained like 300 to 400 subscribers in days where like I was like almost running out of money. I got a notification that, hey, someone contributed $100 to my PayPal. Someone contributed $200. Someone contributed $100, $10 here, $30 there. And it's like, wow, thank God, right? In moments where I feel so defeated, I feel so resigned, someone came through and donated to my channel. And in those moments, it just gave me hope that, hey, I'm on the right path, so just keep going. And so throughout the journey, even though like I met people only once, but somehow the resonation was like so much synchronicity where I just got the signs like, hey, give this person one of your blessed stones. And throughout the whole journey, I started with 65. Now I'm back to the US. I only have about 52 left. So all those stones I gave away. So the very last place I took the stones to was in Da Nang. So before all this, I've never been to Vietnam, maybe like once, study abroad like 9 years ago. So this is my first time in Da Nang. And when I got there, before knowing anything about Da Nang, I just felt like, this is it. This is where the Goddess Academy is gonna be built, right? I even get chills even talking about it right now. So as I got to Da Nang, I found out it was the home of the largest Lady Buddha in the world. And then I went to her temple, I prayed with the stones, and then I was led to Marble Mountain. So this is a moment where I thought, okay, my visions, my dreams is true. This light goddess vision is going to manifest. I chose to accept the call. So when I went to this Marble Mountain, I went inside this huge mountain, like it's a cave. And inside the cave, I saw like the statue of Lady Buddha with like a bunch of her hands, and then a bunch of other female Lady Buddhas surrounding her in these statues. And then as I climbed higher up this cave, I went outside, like when I got to the peak, I went out this cave and I could see all these like designs on the side of the caves of Lady Buddha helping other women. And this was a moment where I knew this light goddess vision is real. And this is what I was pulled back to Vietnam to find. So Da Nang is where the Light Goddess Academy is going to be built. I know a lot of you are watching this. This all seems too real, too synchronistic, right? Can it be pre-planned? Honestly, when I started a year ago, I had no idea all this was going to unfold. But as I trusted in myself, as I navigated through this hero's journey, everything in the hero's journey unfolded for me. I found reward, which I believe is the Moldavite, the activated stones, and the elixir is changing the alchemy in my body in some kind of way, right? We're all water. Something has changed within me where I came back as the elixir with the blessed and activated stones. So when you start your hero's journey, a lot of things will start to unfold where you don't even know if it's real or if it's not, but the signs are there for you to find out. This is what the hero's journey is all about. And when you come out of this journey, you're going to be in my position this time next year, right? You're going to be teaching people how your hero's journey went. You're going to talk about MOLDAVITE. And I don't know what's stored for your soul contract or your own journey, but all I have to tell you is when you start doing the deep inner work, you start clearing yourself, it's going to lead you to where you need to go. And I feel like right now, with everything that's going on in the world, there needs to be like a mass awakening of all these light workers, we need to wake up, because Mother Earth is, honestly, I feel like she's dying. And if you follow any of those vegan, vegetarian, like those vegan documentaries, you can see there's like this big push to go green or, stop with this climate change. I get downloads upon downloads of this apocalypse, this doomsday. I know it sounds like very terrifying, but I feel like that's the reality of where we are right now. So I hope this message resonates for those who need to hear it, and because I'm speaking straight into your soul. And so that this whole journey, I didn't have a mentor. It took me 7 months to figure out what I need to do. Just pure intuition, trusting and tuning in and listening to my guidance. And it led me to where I need to go with these stones. So now I'm back. So recently, I upgraded to a larger stone. I felt like my old stone did what it needed to do, led me to who I need to meet. And I actually think I met about 2 or 3 of the 7 sisters in Vietnam. And I accomplished what I need to do with the very first stone. So this stone here lays dormant. So recently I upgraded to a larger stone. This is about 9¼ grams. And starting more downloads came through. And I feel like this next part of the journey, I'm going to be stepping in as a role of a mentor. So my very first MOLDAVITE led me to finding myself. I had to leave my environment, get uprooted, lose the car, get rid of the job, get rid of everything that held me as my old self. 7 months, roaming around Asia, bringing all these blessed stones to different sites to activate them. And now I'm back. And recently I created the LLC for the Light Goddesses, actually creating its own entity. And I really feel like this is my next stage for my journey, because the Light Goddess Academy seems so far-fetched. But as I start working with the stone, listening to guidance, things are starting to unfold in like miraculous ways. And so now with this upgraded stone, I have a new task. It's to come back, distribute my blessed stones. Actually, the original 50 I had, I put them in a crystal grid and charge all incoming stones that are coming through. And I don't know what it means for you, but for me, I feel like the pendants, putting into a wire wrapped 14-karat gold holds the energy. Something inside of it is activated. So when you have your first pendant, I suggest just work with one, tune in with it, and let it guide you. So now as I'm coming back in this journey, I have my business set up. I'm coming back as a mentor. This is the next part of my journey. So within this upcoming weeks, I'm going to create a training online course. So for those who are interested, and if you feel called to the course, feel free to put your email in the comments below or send me an email at thelightgoddesses.com. I'm going to compile this email list, and when the course is ready, I'm going to shoot an email for you to sign up. So there's only, like I mentioned in my other videos, everyone is on this path of awakening. And one, you can either take the call, accept the MOLDAVITE into your life, and go on this journey and figure out things by yourself. That's what I did. It took me 7 months to really kind of figure out what was going on, right? Or you can do yoga, meditation, like it's gonna give you a little bit glimpses of the next step, right? Because you're opening up your energy meridians and energy is coming through. So you get glimpses. You can go vegetarian, you can do all that. It's gonna give you glimpses. But for me, I really wish I had a mentor to walk me through all that's happening, the supernatural that started to happen, all the synchronicities that no one else can explain except you, the person who are experiencing it. And so for you who are here, there's probably a reason why you're gravitating towards my videos. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you actually got a MOLDAVITE, for those of you who did. So that's the very first step for you to accept the call. So the next step is you can either choose to unfold the hero's journey on your own, or you can choose to accelerate it by doing one of the courses. I just recently signed up for a $13,000 a year training courses about energy and business. And that was the first moment in my life where I actually got validation of what I'm experiencing is real. There are energies around us. How do you work with energy? How you call on guides? How do you actually use it to really do good for the world? So that's where I am right now. I actually hired on a mentor, $13,000 a year. So now, transferring my knowledge down to my own training course. I don't know how much I'm gonna price it yet, but if you're interested and if you feel called to, leave your email in the bio below, comments below, or send me email at thelightgoddesses@gmail.com. But 1 year after MOLDAVITE, 7 months in Vietnam, created my own business, bunch of supernatural stuff started unfolding, synchronicities, and I've never felt more aligned with myself 1 year later. So hopefully a year from now, my new self will look back at this video like, you go, Tammy, you did exactly what you need to do, and now I'm passing on to you on your first step of your hero's journey. So if you feel called, subscribe, leave your email. That is all I have for you guys today. Tammy Doe, signing off.
Audio Jungle.